It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
So here's a really good one, Brian, that we get all the time that's pretty exciting. This is from Brianna, and this is from Facebook. Brianna said, 401k versus 457. What are the pros and cons of choosing? And she said, one over the other. So let's talk a little bit about 401ks, 457s, and what makes them really, really unique and potentially really, really exciting.
Yeah, more people will have access to 401ks or 403bs than they will 457s. 457s are kind of a unique thing. They do come in several forms, though. There's the ones that are offered by the hospitals and the governments, and then there are others that can be from private groups, but they're more like a deferred comp type structure. I'm going to talk in generality to the 457s probably from a hospital or a government agency, because those are set up, they're better. I'm just going to say it. They're better than the 401ks in one huge aspect. You don't have the early, penalties, early access penalties, because that's the problem with IRAs, with 401ks, 403bs. You're not supposed to have access until you're 59 and a half unless it's a qualified plan like a 401k or 403b, and then you can have access at 55 if you take the distribution from the qualified plan. After separation, but 457s, they don't have any of those restrictions. So especially if you're a fire person or you're a public servant like a fire person or a police person, you will love that you have these 457s, because a lot of those employees, especially in public service, retire so much earlier than traditional employees, that you'll love that you have access to that without paying those early withdrawal penalties.
One thing that I specifically love about 457s, and the way you phrased your question is, how should I go about choosing one over the other? Well, a lot of times if you have like a 401k or a 403b, you know that you're limited. You can do $19,500 in aggregate in salary deferrals, either one of those, because they're in the same code section. 457s actually fall into a different code section of the tax law. So if you're someone who has access to both a 401k and a 457, you don't have to do either or. You could potentially do both. You could do $19,500 in your 401k, and then you can do another $19,500 into your 457. So if you're a higher income individual, it is huge from a retirement asset building standpoint. If you're trying to prioritize one over the other, I've seen this a lot of times. Make sure you understand the matching differences between the two accounts, because some of them might have a different match. You want to make sure you, step 2 of financial order operations, maximize the employer match, get that free money, and then figure out, okay, is the 457 early benefit more valuable to me? Should I shift assets there? Or should I just go ahead and max them both out, because that's super, super awesome?
Man, thanks for cleaning up those scraps that I left hanging out there.
I appreciate it. You teed one up for me.